haven't been able to get my microphone to connect to my laptop to record as I typically do. I don't know if it's a microphone thing. I don't know if it's a cord thing. So right now I'm sitting in the stand at Target Field, just speaking into my iPhone, and I don't know what footage is gonna accompany this. Maybe I'll just loop some of the footage from the game. Maybe it'll just be a still image of Target Field at night, just an empty Target Field. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Before getting into the Giants game, a quick note on the Warriors, because we did have an opportunity to watch the final couple minutes of that game wrap up. And just as a basketball fan as a whole, it leads you to wonder what this series might look like if there was a healthy Stephen Curry. I know I'm not seeing anything groundbreaking there, but considering that the Curryless Warriors were able to hang with the Wolves for roughly 90% of this game all the way down until the very end, it does make you wonder how this game would have turned out if Curry was healthy and was available. But again, that's not my jurisdiction. Go check out our Warriors coverage, the Joseph Dicus led Warriors coverage that we got going on back in San Francisco. But as far as what's happening in Minneapolis, the Giants fall to the Twins 2-1. They are now 24-16 on the season. And the story of the game was a play that unfolded in the top of the 8th inning. The Giants were trailing 2-1, just the 1-run deficit, but they had the tying run 90 feet away, that tying run being Heliot Ramos. And up to that point, he had been responsible for all of the Giants offense, and that's not an exaggeration. He had a solo homer off Joe Ryan. He had an infield single, and I want to say the 5th inning, and then he led off the top of the 8th inning with a double off the right center field wall, and then advanced to third base on a sharp line out by Lamont Wade Jr. Minnesota only leading by 1 run brought their infield in, and what manager Bob Melvin told us after the game was that the play, it was a contact play, so Ramos's responsibility at that point in time was to get a very aggressive secondary lead and run if Patrick Bailey made contact. And what ended up happening is the catcher for the Minnesota Twins, Christian Vázquez, after receiving a first pitch fastball that was with Patrick Bailey at the plate, Vázquez turns and fires a perfect throw to third baseman Royce Lewis. Lewis applies the tag. Ramos is out. He's not able to get back to the base in time. And the Giants' opportunity to tie the ball game effectively ends right there. The inning didn't end right there, technically. Bailey was still up at the plate with 2 outs in the inning. And the game wasn't even over either. The Giants still had an opportunity in the 9th inning. But that was the Giants' best opportunity to tie up the ball game as far as having a runner in scoring position. And then in the top of the 9th inning, Johan Duran comes in for the Twins. Christian Kost does lay down a leadoff bunt single, but then Mike Yastrzemski grounds into a double play. Willie Adames strikes out looking, and that's the ball game. The Giants have now lost the series to the Minnesota Twins. The best they can hope for at this point is to take the game tomorrow with Landon Roop on the mound and go not just 2 for 3 in this series, but salvage the road trip, go 3 for 3 on the road trip, the other half of it being against the Chicago Cubs. And the lack of offense today wasted what was ultimately a very good outing by Logan Webb, who ends up with the loss. He goes 7 innings, allows 2 earned runs, strikes out 9 batters to just the 1 walk, lowers the ERA to 2.60, lowers the FIP to 1.99, one of the best marks in the entire league. And this was just the 2nd start in Logan Webb's career where he's pitched at least 7 innings, allowed 2 runs or fewer, and ended up with a loss. Not quite in Matt Cain territory, but it's certainly pretty close to it in essence. I mentioned the 9 strikeouts on the night, and Logan Webb continues, despite not being a self-described strikeout pitcher, continues to strike out batters at not even one of the highest clips of his career, the highest clips of his career. And as of right now, especially given the volume that he pitches, he's well on way to striking out 200 batters for the first time in his career. I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, but he's just a slight tick under 11 strikeouts per 9 inning, which he's never even eclipsed. 10 strikeouts per 9 inning, the highest total that he's had in his career, is somewhere in the 9s in 2021, and I believe it was in 2022 where he struck out 194. So the strikeouts continue to trend in the right direction for Logan Webb. even though it's not something that he's particularly known for. And again, it will be interesting to see going forward whether he continues to strike out batters at this rate or if it kind of recedes back to normal. And he did say in the postgame that because it was mentioned to him, he's probably going to have a one strikeout outing sometime in the near future.